What is going on, everybody? Welcome into this special live stream event. Go ahead and smash the like button. I know you guys are going to love what I've got for you guys. Coming at you from a different location, so I don't have all my equipment, all my mic, and all that. Let me know in the chat if I sound okay. Again, different type of setup. Just want to make sure all of that is squared away before we jump into the news and what we have. We've got a lot to get to. A lot of people talking. Usually where there's smoke, there's fire, right? And that's kind of where we are right now. And we're getting really close, I think, to the Bitcoin ETF, maybe as soon as tomorrow, as now multiple reports are out there. So we're going to talk about that, talk about what it means for Bitcoin, both short-term, long-term. Is the price that we're at right now, is it priced in? Or are we just looking at that wrong? We're going to talk about it from a bunch of different angles, and it does look like it sounds pretty good. Good stuff. I appreciate that, guys. Thank you guys so much, and welcome everybody in to the live stream. What is going on? We've got a bunch of people joining us here on this evening. What is it? Thursday night? Yeah, Thursday night. Let's go. I think we even got people coming in from different places too. So appreciate you guys. I know everybody's on different schedules and things like that. So definitely happy to be here with you guys and talk about this stuff tonight. So without further ado, let's dive into some of the news that we've got here. So this is Bitcoin Archive recently here. Says right here, let me get rid of that banner now that we can say we got breaking news. There we go. Just in, SEC is giving Bitcoin ETF applicants final comments as we speak. This is definitely as close to done as we've been. This is coming from Bloomberg's senior ETF analyst, Eric Balchunas. So if we go over to Eric Balchunas's page here, he's obviously been covering this very closely, and he's talking about exactly where we are in the process here. And he's not the only one. He's not the only one. He says, I think this new Bitcoin depository receipts would have more of the market if the SEC still is in rejection mode with the ETFs, but with liquidity gathering ETFs coming very soon and already liquid futures, these have a tough sell in my opinion. These are some of the Bitcoin securities that don't need SEC approval. But if we scroll on down, we can take a look at, he's been covering this for a little while now. Now, if we bounce over, we've got a few other people talking about it. So here's Walter Bloomberg. Sources report that Bitcoin spot ETF is going to be approved by the SEC for multiple firms. And we're hearing this from multiple sources that it's multiple firms. Keep in mind, there are 12, count them, 12 firms out there looking to get a Bitcoin spot ETF approved, guys. It's not just one and done here. Many people looking to get this thing done, and it could be coming as soon as tomorrow. Reminder, the deadline that we've been hearing about for a while is January 10th. Now, we had a report a couple days ago basically coming out that kind of played a role, I think, in tanking the markets for 24 hours, not even, right? We sold off for a little bit, but it was bought right back up. We'll talk about that later on in the stream. But, you know, there was some rumors out there that it would be pushed out until after the first quarter. But now we're hearing the rumors are basically firing back up, and exactly right here. Where there's smoke, there's fire, and there's a lot of smoke here today. What's going on, EMAC? How we doing, man? What's going on? Happy New Year to everybody out there. Appreciate you guys for rocking with me, hanging out here tonight, and coming on in. I would crack a beer on this moment, but doing a little fast here in January, trying to go no drinking. So got some H2O. We got some good old water with us. And yeah, so a lot to get to here. All right, so let's keep it moving here. And as you guys come in, if you would, hit that like button for us. Definitely helps us out. So James Lavish, so we'll follow him. Former reformed hedge manager, ex-Yale CFA. So he says, let me explain this as clearly as I possibly can. The approval of a spot Bitcoin ETF is not yet priced in. And this has become a big topic of discussion. And I'll tell you what, I've been on both sides of this argument here in a couple different ways. I do think there has certainly been some FOMO from the big institutional side once we got the rumor of ETFs being approved. But do I think the price is going to dramatically sell off? I don't. Do I think the price is dramatically going to skyrocket the day this becomes reality? I do not. I guess what I'm saying here is if you really truly believe in Bitcoin and in crypto long term, we may just have it wrong in that like our time horizon isn't right because everybody wants that big burst, right? It's sexier, it's more fun, right? I don't think it's all going to come in at the same time, meaning the capital, the new capital that will be coming into crypto once these ETFs are approved. But I do think it'll be a trickle effect, right? And I think it will trickle in and lead us right to the Bitcoin halving. I really do. Reminder, Bitcoin halving coming up. I think we're basically at 100 days away. Correct me if I'm wrong. Let me double check that. They've got a little running countdown. 103 days. So here's your Bitcoin halving countdown. Bitcoin halving countdown right here. 102 days, 7 hours, 24 minutes, 23 seconds away. On April 2024, the block reward will be reduced from 6.25 Bitcoin per block to 3.125 Bitcoin per block. And this halving is right around the corner, guys. And again, if you guys don't know about this, just how big this is huge. It's every 4 years, pre-programmed event, reduces the rewards given to crypto miners by half, approximately every single 4 years. The halving is essential, it says right here, because it ensures that the supply of Bitcoin, which by the way, is finite at 21 million, it keeps this supply in check and prevents inflation. One of the reasons why so many people have become bullish on Bitcoin is for this reason exactly. If it didn't have a halving schedule like this, people would not be as bullish on Bitcoin. And as we've seen, guys, in the last few years, we need a true hedge against inflation, right? Like gold is fantastic. It's great for what it is, but let's just call it what it is. Gold has been up 12% while Bitcoin's up 165%. Okay. Bitcoin in the last year is up 162% to be exact. All right. Like it's not even close. There it is right there. Okay. Right on screen, right above me. It's up 162% to gold's 12%. Now I know it doesn't have the backing of the US government and which, their money's backed by bonds. I get all that, but people have seen past all of that and understand what's at stake here, given the fact that our economy across the board, and not just America, but across the board, global economy, it's in shambles because we print money, right? And that's just the matter of fact, right? And now, for the first time ever, people who have been scared to invest in Bitcoin, people have been afraid because there hasn't been a traditional way to invest or a quote unquote safe way to invest in Bitcoin. For the first time ever, those people's concerns will be addressed when a Bitcoin ETF is finally approved. And again, we could be literally within 12 hours away, perhaps. At least that is what we're hearing right now. So we've got a bunch of other people in the industry talking about this. Crypto Wendy breaking multiple Bitcoin spot ETFs to be approved potentially as early as in tomorrow. Here's another one here. This is from Mario Nafal. He's talking about it as well. Multiple Bitcoin spot ETF applications will be approved by the SEC as early as tomorrow, according to multiple sources. So again, a lot of smoke here. Hopefully where there's smoke, there's fire. We're going to be covering it for you guys. We're going to be right here at the forefront. Here's Watcher Guru. They're all over it as well. Just in, spot Bitcoin ETF approval is as close to done as we've seen. This is senior Bloomberg ETF analyst telling us that. Don't buy Bitcoin, earn it. This is interesting. BitcoinETF.org. We'll give them a follow. So we've got everybody in the industry just fired up right now talking about these Bitcoin ETFs. Here's Dan Gambardello from Cardano. But I want to come back to this tweet from James Lavish, right? And we kind of hit on this for a second, but he says, let me explain this as clearly as I possibly can. the approval of a spot Bitcoin ETF is not yet priced in. So many people are afraid that once we get an ETF approved, we might see a sell-off. I think there could be people taking profits, but I think those same people who, or for as many people who will be taking profits off the table here when these ETFs are approved, you're going to have demand ramping up. And by the way, this is not just demand that is coming from institutions. You're going to have retail demand, and you're going to have a demand shock at some point in 2024, especially as we head into 2025. This is a unique time period for Bitcoin because we are experiencing something that we've never seen an asset experience before. And it's an asset that's going through not only a demand shock, is about to happen, but also a supply shock in addition to a demand shock. Those things are going to be happening at the same time because we have the Bitcoin halving coming up just 103 days away. 103 days away from our halving. So not only do we have this demand shock, we have a supply shock at the same damn time. This is so bullish for Bitcoin as we enter what I think could be our biggest bull run ever. I really believe that. Given everything that has transpired in this previous bull cycle, given everything that's transpired to get us to this point, and now the ETFs, coupled with a halving, coupled with widespread adoption, and we've got countries backing Bitcoin and making it legal tender. I don't think the bus is going to stop here with El Salvador either. This is just the tip of the iceberg. I firmly believe that. So going back to the tweet there, where was that tweet at? Right here. I think this really depends on what's your time horizon, right? Sure, it could be priced in for the first 24 hours when people maybe take some profits off the table. But if your time horizon is 2025 or beyond, this price that you see today for Bitcoin, it's not priced in, nor should we even care. This is why Bitcoin is the one asset that I dollar cost average into every single day. I strategically do take some off the table in order to allocate towards some altcoins that I like, but I continue to buy Bitcoin every single day. I've done that every day since April 2022, and I will continue to do that as the prices move higher. Simply because this is my savings account. As a 33-year-old millennial, I've made a decision that Bitcoin is my way out. And I think a lot of other people are in a similar situation. Doesn't even matter your age, right? So let's see who we got in chat here. Go ahead and hit the like button, guys. Hey, Zach, you started your portfolio with about 7K. What were your big winners besides SHIB that gave you financial freedom to the extent you have it today? Yeah, man, that's a great question. And I'm still building. Hex. It's not all over by any means. But I did start with 7K, and that's what I had, at the time to save up. I wasn't making a lot of money, but I was living well below my means, and I was able to put in 7K. And yeah, man, I started with a couple meme coins like Dogecoin and Shiba Inu. I call them the gateway cryptos. It's why I still cover them, because if you go about it smartly, is that a word? Smartly? If you go about it smartly, I think so. You can make some money there, and then reallocate that into other cryptos. And I've learned a lot since then, but those were two that were big winners for me. In addition to that, Cardano has been a good winner for me. Haven't liquidated a lot of that, but I've had a couple other small caps that have done really well for me as well. And then here just this year, I've had a couple, layer one projects do really well for me. Caspa, and I took a little bit of profits there, but I'm still adding to my position there. But yeah, man, it started with Doge and SHIB for me, and it's been fun. Exciting times for crypto. Let's do this, Zach. Thanks for what you do. You keep us grounded. Yeah, man, it's an awesome time to be in crypto. It's a phenomenal time, and it's so exciting because so many people aren't here yet, right? And I can't wait until, not only do we have 300 people in this stream, we have 3,000 people in this stream. And that will happen all across YouTube because the interest is just ramping up, guys. I have a pretty good pulse on like retail demand and retail interest, just given that I've been here for 3 years. And again, I don't have it all figured out, but We're nowhere near the hysteria that we experienced back in 2021. So imagine what happens when that mass hysteria comes back and it's even greater. Keep in mind, we are only literally at 5% adoption of crypto. 5%. And this is going to change things forever. This year, 2024, will go down in the history books as Bitcoin became recognized and solidified as a real asset that has to be taken seriously. I firmly believe that. Yeah, Keefe OG, your savings account, anyone can drop at any time when they pull out. Yeah, man, listen, you can have your opinions on it. I have money in the stock market. I still do. I have money in crypto. I have money in my savings account, my regular savings account. What I mean is Bitcoin is my savings account within crypto, right? So what I mean is when I stack my chips, when I'm making money in altcoins, I'm trying to stack more Bitcoin at the end of the day. That's what I mean. So, yeah, man, I mean, everybody has their right to their own opinion, but so far that strategy has worked out well for me, and I'm going to continue to do that. So our American government even owns Bitcoin under the premise of confiscated. Correct. Yeah, the U.S. government, I think, is number four holder of Bitcoin, something like that. And yes, a lot of that came through confiscated Bitcoin, Silk Road, things like that. Yeah, I did see the Caspa news come out today. That's big for Caspa for sure. Caspa's testnet 11 is going public this Sunday, January 7th. I love Caspa. I think it's the most similar thing we have to Bitcoin for sure. Proof of work, very similar in its tokenomics, its halving schedule, even a little bit more bullish than Bitcoin probably. But yeah, it should be great, Steve. Did see that news. Yeah, I agree. I think Caspa will be huge in the future. I think XRP has a tremendous opportunity as well. I think once the Bitcoin ETFs are approved, a lot of the attention will start to shift toward other top cryptos, right? A lot of the capital will start to shift into some other top cryptos. So here's what else we've got. We've got some other people talking about this event. So let's see here. Let me find this for you guys. So this was yesterday. Keep in mind, Eleanor, who we've had on the channel here before, posted this yesterday. The SEC held meetings yesterday with the exchanges. Okay, we covered this in a video today. This is fact. Okay, this we know. So this is why there's so much smoke right now, because we know that this happened. Okay, this sort of thing happened. The SEC held meetings yesterday with the NASDAQ, with the New York Stock Exchange, and with Chicago. This is Chicago's, right? Or the exchange. CBOE. What is the CBOE? CBOE. I'm not even sure what that is. I think it's the Chicago Exchange, I believe. Basically to finalize comments on the 19B4s submitted by the Bitcoin spot ETF issuers. So what I read today is this is kind of the last step in the process here. Okay, so this happened yesterday. And if we take a look at Bitcoin's price here today, we had the big sell-off yesterday. This is that candle here. Okay, we dumped all the way down 41, K, almost low 41K range. We dumped down here. And then we're able to bounce back pretty quickly here and get back over 44,000 pretty easily. We're working on kind of a flat candle right now at market open. And really what this reminds me of, this consolidation that we're seeing right here basically has played out since December 6th. So we're basically going on a month here of consolidation where we haven't been able really to break through 44K. We did briefly here a few days ago, right? We broke through and almost got to 46, but it was very short-lived. But this consolidation pattern reminds me of this right here. If you guys remember, we went through this as well, right back in here, back in late summer, early fall, where we kind of traded sideways for a while until we burst on the scene here and broke out. And a lot of people have looked back into October here, especially October 23rd. If you look at this candle, October 23rd, on every single major crypto chart, tons of capital came in on October 23rd for whatever reason. You could see, like, that's the biggest candle here on this uptick, okay? That day, there was so much money coming into the markets, it was absurd. And literally, you can go back and look and basically find this candle, and a ton of the altcoins flashed a momentum up on my indicator. By the way, if you look at that momentum up, momentum down, these indicators that I'm using, that's my trading indicator. You guys have access to that by going to xtalgo.com. Links are down below in the description. It's literally risk-free. You could try it today. If you don't like it, it's a 30-day money-back guarantee. But I'm super confident you guys are going to love it. And if you need a place to trade, it's Margex. That's what I've been using lately. Up to 100x leverage. Links are down below for that as well. But super pumped about XTalgo and what we've built here. We've got over 400 people using this thing for crypto and stock trading. But this day, basically, it was found out that BlackRock bought a ton of Bitcoin on this day. Okay? There's no doubt BlackRock bought on this day right here, October 23rd. And by the looks of it, they didn't buy just Bitcoin. They bought other top cryptos too. A lot of things surged on that day. So yeah, long positions were liquidated yesterday, 100%. I think hearing some speculation that if the ETF is rejected, some institutions will be suing the SEC for market manipulation. We'll see, man. I just hope we get them approved before the January 10th deadline. So many people have gone on the record, 90% certainty and what have you, that they'd be approved. But at the end of the day, you truly never know what the powers that be are going to do, right? You could have a lot of inside knowledge, a lot of inside scoop, but at the end of the day, we don't know, right? We're not the people pushing the buttons, So here's an interesting angle here. This is coming from the block. So it says here, here's how spot Bitcoin ETF issuers are anticipating the coming days to play out. This article written today. So prospective spot Bitcoin ETF issuers are able and ready to start trading as early as next week if the SEC approves the necessary filings. So we could start seeing trading happen next week. That is insane, according to 3 sources involved in the process. But first, issuers and exchanges need to get some final filings ready. And based on Eleanor's tweet that we just read from yesterday, apparently those meetings were taking place probably yesterday and probably into today. And if all of those things are squared up and ready to go, well, we could see an approval by tomorrow. That is coming from multiple reports. And again, it comes back to this right here. It says, over the next 3 business days, Grayscale Investments is working toward the filing of an amended 19B4, according to a source. This is needed because previous paperwork was filed months ago and needs a refresh, the source said. This would likely first show up in the rulemaking section of the New York Stock Exchange website. So this says a few days. The prospective spot Bitcoin ETF issuers will also need to file final S1 forms laying out the fees, naming the authorized participants, the APs. By the way, did you see who some of the APs are for BlackRock? I covered this on the channel. This is crazy. One of the major authorized participants on the BlackRock ETF application is none other than JP Morgan Chase. Of course it's JP Morgan. After Jamie Dimon has basically smeared Bitcoin's name, drug crypto through the mud, they're going to be an authorized participant on BlackRock's ETF. Did you guys see this? I mean, this is insane. We all know that, right, on the surface, JP Morgan hates Bitcoin. Well, If we go and search JP Morgan authorized participant ETF, here you go. BlackRock previously amended its S-1 filing to name quantitative trading firm Jane Street and JP Morgan as authorized participants in its proposed ETF. It took over 10 years, but we're finally on the verge of having spot Bitcoin ETFs approved in the United States. And now, look at this. Bloomberg reported on January 4th, that's today, that Grayscale held talks with both investment banks for the role, citing sources familiar with the matter. It comes less than a week after Grayscale filed their amended S3 application with the SEC, but didn't list any authorized participants. Meanwhile, an earlier media report also suggests Goldman Sachs is in discussion with BlackRock as an authorized participant for its ETF, citing sources familiar with the matter. BlackRock previously amended its S-1 filing to name quantitative trading firm Jane Street and JP Morgan as authorized participants in its proposed ETF. I mean, you can't make this shit up, right? I mean, hilarious. And this is why I always say, like, you cannot listen to what they say or what sound clip is played in the media. If you listen to that, you would think JP Morgan, Jamie Dimon, they hate Bitcoin. Yet they're an authorized participant on BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF? Really? Really? That's insane to me. That's insane. All right, so this is Jake Travinsky over on X. He said it took over 10 years, but we're finally on the verge of having spot Bitcoin ETFs approved in the United States. Yes, we are. This was yesterday. Many deserve credit in this milestone, but chiefly Grayscale and its lawyers who had the guts to fight this out in court and won. Let's fight more in 2024. Give him a follow there. Let's see if he has anything else here on that front. Let's see. So here's another one. Jacqueline Melanik. Tried to get her on the channel before. She almost came on, but she had something going on from TechCrunch. Heard from sources extremely close to the matter. Oh, this is the original, I think, from this afternoon. Heard from sources extremely close to the matter that the Bitcoin spot ETF is going to be approved by the SEC for multiple firms' applications. Again, when we hear multiple, there are 12 applications out there. At least at last check, there were 12 applications out there. So does this mean all 12 will be approved at the same time? Does it mean BlackRock will get first dibs? What do you guys think? What do you guys think? Do you think BlackRock gets approved first? Do they allow them that runway? Or do you think all 12 get approved? Do you think 5 or 6 or 7 get approved? How do you guys think this plays out? I'm curious to hear what you guys have to say. Drop your comments down below. And by the way, I appreciate you guys rocking with me here tonight. Definitely hit that like button. Let's run this thing up. Let's try to get some more people in here, hang out, and talk about what's going on in real time here on the channel. We've got a super chat from Lee, so we'll take a look at it. Yo, Zach, how's it going? Any word on Jesus Coin's resilience? The coin that just keeps coming back stronger. God bless. Lee, I'm familiar with Jesus, so we'll give him some love here. Let's see, because the super chat came in. Appreciate you, brother. Jesus Coin. Let's see what it's doing. It is a $28 million market cap. There you go. Jesus Coin. What a name. Almost 600K in volume. Yeah, I saw it spiked way up there on Christmas. Oh, that makes sense. Jesus' birthday. So it spiked up on Jesus' birthday. That makes sense. That's very fitting. We should have played that. That should have been a trade right there. That was a perfect trading opportunity. Right? Spiked up on Jesus' birthday. So appreciate the super chat, man. We're going to cover this story here in just a second as well. Let's see who else we got in chat. Whoever's talking about Bonk, their video game has hackers and cheaters on it. I haven't heard about that, Keefe, but I made a short-term swing trade on Bonk, and do I think it'll come back? Yeah, I think it'll come back when Solana runs hard again. But I'm kind of looking for the next Solana meme coin, to be honest. As we've watched all Bitcoin maxis leave the stream. Guys, I love Bitcoin, but I love other cryptos too. I do not shy away from opportunities. But Bitcoin is my largest holding, so there's that. Let us see that God candle. That would be nice, right? Buffering MT, yeah. What's up? Jubba Allen, BlackRock first. You think? You think they'll give it to BlackRock first? Where will announcements be made public? SEC website. It'll be all over X, man. Scooter, it'll be all over X. Thoughts on One Harmony? Mark, I really liked it a few years back. It's kind of lost its luster. It's not as active as it once was. So for me, I've just kind of turned my attention to some other big plays, you know? So is Easter next for Jesus Coin? That could be. That could be. He will come to judge the living and the dead, and his kingdom will have no end. It could be Easter. Announcement will be made via airborne blimps all over the country with loudspeakers. That'd be epic. That would be epic. Or what if we got like, the Amber Alert message, like the same sound on our cell phones, and it was the Bitcoin spot ETF being approved? That would be perfect. Zach, is that a good term to use on Jesus Coin spiked up? You got me there, dude. You're right. You're right. I shouldn't have used that word. Oh man, that's brutal. Myro, next Solana meme. I've got some. Yeah, man. I've got some. I've got Myro, and I've got another one too. What else do I have? There's two on Solana. Samo. Samo. So I've got those two. Got a lot of snack too. Got a lot of snack over on Cardano, so we'll see. Thank you. What's the next 50x, 100x coins? Mark, man, if I had that information for you all the time, dude, that would be awesome. It just kind of depends on how much risk you want to take and how long you're willing to wait, right? I mean, I think there are some 50 to 100x coins out there, that are pretty safe investments, in my opinion, like Caspa. I still think it hasn't experienced a full bull run yet, right? So yeah, I think there's 50x potential in some cryptos out there for sure. I still think there's 50x upside for some of the top tier cryptos like Cardano, XRP, longer time frame, right, than Caspa, but I think those are both still really solid plays. It just depends on how much risk you want to take, Everyone keeps saying ETF is why the crypto market is going up, but it's what's done every cycle, etc., is not priced in. Crypto Chevy, I think it's a good point, man. I think there's a lot going on at once, right? I think the ETF is certainly a reason, but we've also, I think, seen the overall market come back too, just in general, with more capital coming in slowly. But I don't think the retail demand is all the way back yet, which is good. That bodes well for us. BTC is a gift from the gods. I'll tell you what, man, it's pretty awesome. Zach, what are you going to do when you become a crypto millionaire? Continue doing YouTube? Oh yeah, man. For sure. For sure. And I'm hoping to become not just a millionaire, but a multimillionaire. I think I have all the opportunity to do so, but I've got big plans with other business ideas, man. There's no way I can retire somewhere and just start drinking a smoothie on the beach or whatever. That's not me, man. I've always got to be challenged. I got to be, chasing something, going back on a journey, man. So, and for me, man, like the money's great. Don't get me wrong. Like the money's great. Like everybody wants to make money. It makes life easier. But for me, it's more about the challenge of something new, the challenge of winning, the challenge of starting something new and enjoying that journey. I love the chase, man, the journey, right? And that's what it's been so far for me in crypto. And I've lost a lot of money in crypto. I've made a lot of money in crypto, but I'm pretty well diversified now, more so than I've ever been, both with crypto, stocks, savings account, real estate. I bought my first property recently, so I'm really excited about that, and started another business that's XT Algo that I mentioned, the trading indicator. So on average, millionaires have about 7 sources of income. So that's really what I'm trying to do. And I started multiple other YouTube channels. So I've got my Grow with Zach channel. They're all linked down below, by the way. Grow with Zach channel, my travel channel. I've got my stock channel, and my plan is for in 2024 to grow all of these assets, man. You know, grow them all into something bigger this year, and that keeps me going, man. So for sure, man, I'm gonna be on YouTube for a long time. I plan on being on YouTube in a lot of capacities: crypto, entrepreneurship, stocks, maybe even real estate once I learn a little bit more about what's going on. So let's see, BTT. What's BTT, MT? Is that BitTorrent? Hey Zach, what's your thoughts on AVAX price? Let's take a look at AVAX real quick. I do like AVAX. Let's see here. AVAX. Yeah, it's coming down a little bit. It's kind of like a falling knife right now. I would probably just be careful for right now, just to kind of see where we start to consolidate. That's just me. But man, what a great opportunity this was recently, right? Here's your momentum up. This is my indicator firing right here on the daily. Yeah, I'm going to give it a shout out. Look at that, 260% move to the upside. It told you to buy it right here at $10.58. That was the play. I did make a short-term swing trade on AVAX. Didn't quite get it all the way down here, but I got it somewhere on this consolidation level, 21, and I flipped it at 40. I doubled up, got out, was happy with that. I still have a little bit of AVAX, but right now in this type of market, man, in 2023, I've been heavily interested in trading. I did a lot of trading in 2023. Still, while investing for the long term too. I think that's one of the biggest things I've realized. Like, I feel as if people can't do, like, they refuse to do both. They're either a trader or a long-term investor. You could do both. You could both trade and be a long-term investor. And that's really what I focused on the last year and a half. And that's why I built or had XT Algo built, because I'm not a mastermind. I'm not like a brilliant genius when it comes to TA. I don't think anybody is, especially in crypto. But this tool works. I mean, look at Bitcoin. Last time this flashed here on the indicator, look at this. 57% move in the last 94 days since it flashed. I mean, right here on October 23rd, there was the indicator. That's that day I was telling you guys about. Or this is October 1st, actually. Flashed even before then, before the big pop. Drop down on crucifixion, spike on resurrection day. There we go, Bob. Is there time to expect the decision tomorrow? Is there a time to I haven't heard any time. Let's see if there's anything new out there, actually, because I just kind of sift everything before I jumped on the stream. Hadn't had a chance to kind of look at it again. Let's see what else is out there. By the way, guys, we kind of hit on this on multiple angles here already on the stream. So if you missed it, you're just coming in, make sure you go back and check out the whole stream. Also, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. That would be awesome. Would appreciate that. That'd be amazing. Let's go latest here. Let's see what our guys saying here.
Assets, but not a bite-sized pieces. Let me tell you what's going on in the cryptocurrency market in 30 seconds or less. First up, Joe Biden has just come out with his proposal for a new tax plan. And surprise, surprise, it's going to tax the living tar out of cryptocurrency holders. You're going to look at an increase from 20% to 39.6% in the long term.
Yeah, this is the tax plan that they're coming out with. That's not going to be fun. You're going to see a lot of people, I think, in the crypto world leaving the U.S. because of that. So let's see. Let's go top here. Let's see if we're missing anything. Nothing new from this, right? So basically just what we had come out here late this afternoon. According to sources extremely close to the situation, TechCrunch's Jacqueline Melanik reports that the SEC is set to approve spot Bitcoin ETFs. They have not said tomorrow, but they have said as early as tomorrow. But Dan Gambardello says Bitcoin spot ETF approval expected tomorrow, maybe. Sources report that Bitcoin spot ETF is going to be approved by the SEC for multiple firms' applications. News expected tomorrow. Senior crypto reporter from TechCrunch. So that's kind of what you said, but you know, a lot of people get excited and just run with it. We'll see, right? I mean, no matter what, I'm prepared. Are you guys ready? I mean, if dude is willing to take a risk, snack on Cardano has 50x potential easy, in my opinion. I agree. I've got some snack. I got a bunch of snack, actually. I definitely have some snack. I got a decent amount, like 4K worth. I initially put in, and I'm already up on that a little bit, so we'll see what happens. I have no idea. I haven't been tracking Ben at all. Is it doing well? There was like another one that came out, I heard, or something that went nuts. Hey, mate, give us an update on prediction. So, Brendan, what I think, I mean, in terms of when it'll come out, I'm leaning now toward this thing getting out sometime this month and probably before the January 10th deadline from what's happened the last 24 hours and everything we've heard. In terms of what will happen to the price of Bitcoin, in my humble opinion here, I don't think it's going to do much of anything, actually, right when the announcement comes. I don't think it's going to skyrocket, nor do I think it'll sell off. I think there will be some buyers and some sellers, and it'll be a very similar situation, maybe a slight spike. But I think what really happens in these next 100 days leading up to the Bitcoin halving is really the more important point, right? Because we are 103 days away from the Bitcoin halving. So the timing of this could be great in order for the build up to the halving. And I think there will be some dips along the way as well. There will be opportunities. And on days like we had 2 days ago, where we go down 9, 10%, those are great days to dollar cost average, right? Whenever you see Bitcoin in the red, if you just dollar cost average whenever you see Bitcoin down, that's not a bad strategy, right? Some people like to buy a little bit every day, every week, every month, you know, but if you really want to kind of be strategic about it, buy when Bitcoin's red. Literally, just buy when Bitcoin's red. That's not a bad way to go about it at all, in my opinion. Not financial advice, of course, but you know, there's a lot of different ways to navigate these waters, right? There's not a one size fits all. I think a lot of it depends on your overall goals, how many things you're invested in, what have you too. Taxes are what will get the best of us investors. Yeah, for sure, Taylor. I mean, you got to pay your taxes. It is what it is, right? I mean, one of the reasons why I went ahead and, you know, bought property is to, you know, buy property so you don't have to pay the tax on it. Buy assets, right? One of the things you can do still, if you make enough money, you can buy a 6,000 pound car, right? And write that off. Like there's not a lot out there, but you know, navigate that stuff. Understand what's out there. I know my CPA is very, very good at that, explaining that to me. That's why I bought a 6,000 pound car, right? Because, you know, luckily these last few years have been the most money I've ever made in my life, thanks to crypto and thanks to, you know, just all of you for giving me this platform. And interestingly enough, man, it's been like the biggest grind these last 3 years, but I've had the most fun doing it. And it doesn't even feel like it's work, you know? But yeah, taxes are what they are, man. You gotta pay your taxes, you know? I paid my fair share the last few years, that's for sure. So Ryan Harris, what's up, man? Mission Possible 777. Let's make sure that token Ben V2 dumps then. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that. I didn't really see exactly what happened with it. More than yesterday, less than tomorrow. Great motto. Yeah, 100%, bro. I like that. I like that. Nobody seems to want to discuss Bencoin V2. Why? I mean, I'm just not invested in it. I'm not interested in it. That's just it. I mean, you can only put so much energy into this crypto market, right? Like I always say, like eyes wide open. You gotta stay open to everything for sure. But some things you just gotta kind of let go, right? And especially if it's something that can detract you from seeing other things. You don't want to get locked in on one thing, but you also don't want to, you know, divert your attention everywhere where you don't have a good pulse of what's going on. I mentioned this in some live streams and a bunch of videos before. These past 8 to 12 months, I've really focused heavily on trading, diversifying my portfolio both in and outside of crypto. And I've also focused heavily on portfolio allocation and the AI crypto sector. Those have been kind of my 4 real big focal points this last year. And I've got a bunch of goals for 2024 to continue on some of those things and start some new things as well, right? So hopefully you guys are writing down your goals too. Hopefully you guys have hopefully you guys have like a notebook, man. I buy a notebook every year, and I literally it's a journal. I just treat it as a journal, like a big notebook every year. At the front of that notebook, I write my goals, and then every single day, I just write a little something where my thoughts are, what my ideas are, and that's my 2023 notebook or my 2024 notebook, right? I think this is a great practice, and a lot of people don't do this. And it sounds so easy. It's like, and it sounds so cliche, like just write down your goals and read them every day. But seriously, write down your goals and read them every day. Like, this changed my entire life, guys. In 2019, I was making $50,000 a year in 2019, but I flipped my mindset in 2019. I flipped the way I thought about the world. I flipped the way I thought about how I was going to make it. I knew I was going to become a millionaire far before I was a millionaire. And it all started right here. It all started with the mind. It all started with reading great books, meeting great people, networking with people, and just literally putting that first and foremost. Nothing was going to come between me and success. That's it. So I know that's not crypto-centric or whatever, but sometimes I like to go off the rail a little bit and talk about that stuff because it matters. Like, having a good mindset will make you a better investor in crypto, stocks, whatever. And I talk a lot more about this on my Grow with Zach channel. If you guys are interested in checking that out, by the way, I'll just show you real quick. It's slowly growing. I've got, this is my travel channel. Let me switch. This is my Grow with Zach channel if you guys are interested in checking it out. I'll drop it down here. Come on over and subscribe. I'm going to have some videos coming out here this week. Just dropped it in chat for you guys. So yeah, I mean, these are some of the stuff I talk about, 3 simple life-changing habits, building generational wealth, meditation, which changed my entire life, stop being broke before it's too late. You have to make the decision to have a positive mindset, how to train your brain to succeed like an elite achiever, 6 personal finance strategies that changed my life, my experiencing being a digital nomad for a year, why most people fail, 2023 business ideas, like all of these sort of things. So this is what we're covering over on this channel. We're growing it slowly. We got a little over 1,000 subs. One of my plans in 2024, though, is to post a lot more here. And I want to help people in a lot of other ways. Like, I can definitely do that through crypto, but I've got a lot else to offer. So I know some people are leaving the stream. Go ahead. We're not talking about crypto. It's fine. But if you guys are interested in that, check this stuff out. I'm telling you guys, I'm here with you guys. I'm rocking with you guys. And I want to do a lot more than just crypto, right? I mean, crypto is how I got my start on YouTube, but I know I can do a lot more than that. So I'll let you guys in on some of my goals. That's one of my big goals this year, and I will succeed. I will succeed at it. So if you guys want to be a part of that, I dropped the link right here in the chat. So come over and check us out. Sweet, man. Caesar, welcome, bro. BTC, yeah, we're back to BTC. Let's take a look at the chart real quick, actually, just the 5-minute. Let's see what we're doing. Actually selling off a little bit. This might be a good little short-term swing right here. Basically at our kind of local lows that we've been at all day. We've bounced off this a few times. Wonder if we'll bounce back up here over 44K. My guess is we will. Or this could be another buy the rumor, sell the news event in the short term. Who knows? But right now, it's looking super bullish for Bitcoin, guys. Super bullish. I read this earlier. I mean, this was an interesting angle. Bitcoin price analysis, ascending parallel channel pattern points to 57K target. So as anticipation builds around the potential approval of rejection of spot Bitcoin ETFs by the SEC on January 5th, the Bitcoin price has witnessed a notable 2.7% recovery. This comes amidst growing speculation about the pattern that could drive the Bitcoin price to reclaim the highs lost during the bear market of 2022. Bitcoin will face a crucial test at 48K. That'll be something to watch. 48K. However, if we don't get there, we could retrace back down to 34. Following the retracement, a rebound toward the upper boundary, potentially reaching around 57K, could be expected. So this is another opinion here, right? Go up to 48 maybe, then come back down to 34, and then a surge to 57. Wouldn't be shocked at all with that. It's almost like we need a little bit of a liquidation event. You know, we got that, what was it, a couple days ago or whatever. But I feel like that's healthy. You know, I don't get mad seeing red. I used to. I mean, now I just look at it as a bigger opportunity because I'm a long-term player in this game, right? I'm the turtle in the race, so red days are good. Thanks for subscribing over to the new channel, man. Appreciate you guys. No, BTC isn't crashing. No. Most likely I'm not. I'm done messing around with it. I'm holding for now just a little bit. Is that Bitcoin or what? You mean just Bitcoin or all crypto? Bonk is crashing. Let's take a look at CoinMarketCap here. We will put the clear version on for a minute. Let's see here. What do we got? Terra Luna Classic with the pump, huh? Aptos still up there. Aptos is one to watch, guys. I don't know if you guys caught my video earlier today, but if we break this $11 mark and stay above it, look out, because we got some room to run all the way up to $12, $13, $14. And I think just this V-shaped recovery you're seeing right here on screen, Aptos, this is going to be one to watch when we come around into the bull run. This is like, I think, 2024, 2025's version of Solana. VC money, partner with Microsoft. It's got the same investors that Meta had when they were starting their DIEM venture. So Aptos, to me, checks a lot of boxes. You want one that I think could 20, 30, 40x potentially. I know that sounds nuts. Probably more like 20, 30. I think it's Aptos. I really do. A layer one that is under the radar, sitting at a $3.2 billion market cap, ranked number 29. Not a lot of people are talking about it, which is usually a time to invest, right? You want to invest in things when it's quiet. So I like that one. I like that one a lot. Let's see what else we got here. Terra Luna Classic pumping a little bit. That's cool. Basically just filling the gap that we had yesterday. But still on a big downturn in the month. Still down 40% in the last month. Hopefully we could still see a resurgence there. Did have that big pop back in February, which was nice. Not February, December. What else we got cooking here? Polygon's been sold off a little bit. I'll tell you what, nobody's talking about Polygon right now. It's probably not a bad time. 86 cents. We should bounce off of 76 if we go down and retest it. Overall, though, I love Polygon for the long term. Really, really do. All right, so that's what we're watching for, guys. The ETF news. Let's take a look and see if there's anything else out there that we're missing. If you guys know anything too that we're missing, let me know. But basically, we've kind of highlighted all of the news that's out there right now, some of the latest stuff. I don't think we're missing much here. Let's see. Just do it. That's hilarious. Chainlink co-founder on the potential impact of an ETF. Let me know if you guys can hear
significant
this.
for our industry. I think based on the size of the folks looking to make these ETFs and their user base, I think it could be quite significant for our industry as a whole. I think it'll show very clearly that TradFi is a very big player in the blockchain space and in the DeFi space. My view has always been that TradFi and the traditional capital markets are actually the biggest net buyer, the biggest net customer of things like Bitcoin. That will begin to take shape more and more through things like the Bitcoin ETF. I think, though, it'll go very far beyond that because fundamentally, this technology is about creating better transactions, more transparent transactions, less risky transactions, more high quality relationships between counterparties, which is fundamentally what the entire banking, capital markets, and asset management sectors are really about. And so I think the Bitcoin ETF is an efficient initial step where the bigger players in the capital markets allow folks to access cryptocurrencies. But I think they will then go on to make more and more advanced financial products of their own, and eventually even define their own decentralized finance protocols that interact with the decentralized finance protocols on public chains. And this is where our infrastructure comes in to create that connectivity and interaction, both among Web3 protocols, among capital markets protocols, and very importantly, between Web3 and capital markets.
That was Chainlink founder talking about Bitcoin ETFs. Very interesting. So, you know, some other people had some interesting things to say as well. I'm trying to find this clip that I saw earlier. Let me see here. Bitcoin ETF media. Let's see if that will find it. Let's see here. This clip was pretty interesting from Paul.
Wall Street is getting invited in anticipation of the greatest show on earth, right? Bitcoin has been the best performing asset for the last 15 years, and Wall Street's basically been boxed out of it. They haven't had access to this asset. And so I think that's what you're seeing in that pent up excitement. One thing that I do caution these Wall Street investors is you can't trade this like other assets. We saw just yesterday about $1 billion of open interest got wiped out. The guys over at Reflexivity Research did a fantastic job outlining, saying, you know, this asset in 2021 went up almost 800% from before the pandemic started to the kind of the top of the market.
Yeah.
During that time, there was 30% drawdowns. If you're going to try to get levered long and think that, hey, ETF gets proven, this thing just goes to the moon, you're likely to get shaken out or get liquidated.
That is really good advice. Just beware the volatility.
I mean, this thing is on a risk return basis, it's by far the most attractive asset in all the financial markets, but it comes with tons and tons of volatility. And so if you go back to 2017, it was $1,000. We're 45x since 2017. But along the way, we've had 80% drawdowns, a plethora. I can't even count how many, 30+% drawdowns. And so Wall Street is saying, hey, the ETF's coming. Here we go. Now, I do think over a long period of time, Bitcoin's price is going to continue to go up. We're going to have a persistent bid from all these ETFs. Another thing people aren't talking about, everyone's talking about the primary fund flows. So retail or institutions buying this ETF. But actually what we're starting to see now is other publicly listed funds or ETFs are changing their prospectus to say that they can put up to 15% of their AUM in the Bitcoin ETF. So if you have the best performing asset and you got an ETF that's lagging, why would you not put Bitcoin in your ETF?
But all of this really formalizes the greater fool aspect of why Bitcoin should go up, right? It's just there are more people who are going to get in there and buy, and they have a new easy way to do it. Meanwhile, it's easier to own Bitcoin directly than it was to own a barrel of oil or a gold bar or a futures contract. When those things were introduced, it didn't change the overall price curve.
I think there's 2 points here.
We'll come back to this in just a second. I just want to make a quick point, though. This is interesting. This whole gold versus Bitcoin debate, like gold's real and whatnot, right? Most of the times when people buy gold, you're not actually getting a physical gold bar. You're getting a digital contract, right? Like it's very similar to what Bitcoin is, except Bitcoin's better. It's, a better system. It's better for the digital age. It's global. It's just in so many ways better. So I don't know. That just came to mind as like one of the arguments that you always hear, but let's listen back in.
Making. First is when you buy this ETF, you are not buying Bitcoin. You are buying exposure to Bitcoin. But if you want to actually own Bitcoin, take self.
Yeah, you're buying exposure. You're buying something pegged to legitimate Bitcoin. But here's what I think will happen. A lot of people will go through this ETF at first, then eventually they'll learn how to self-custody their own Bitcoin. Once they see the returns, once they get into it and understand what it's all about, because that's going to be a process. a lot of people will then go and buy Bitcoin. And there will still be a ton of people who trade Bitcoin on the spot exchanges, right? On the spot trading market. There will people who they'll do that, right? So this basically just opens the door for everybody who doesn't want to do it as they can today. That's really what it is, right? And let's just call it what it is. A lot of the people who are retired, right, or close to retirement, they're not the ones trading Bitcoin on OKX or whatever, or Margex. Shout out to Margex. Links down below to Margex, up to 100x leverage. But yeah, those aren't the people that are there, right? So keep that in mind. All right, we'll go back here.
Custody, you should definitely go do that, not do it through the ETF. The second thing, though, is this kind of greater fool theory. One thing I always say to people is, what is the most valuable commodity in the world? In my opinion, is computing power. Bitcoin is the strongest computer network in the world. And so when you're buying Bitcoin, you're buying an asset that is backed by the strongest commodity in the world. So when you start to think of it from that perspective, yes, it is internet native. Yes, it is for this kind of digital generation. But those people don't look at oil or gold or anything else as the most valuable commodity. They look at computing power, and that's why Bitcoin is so attractive to them.
Can I ask you a very simple question? If I own Bitcoin through an ETF, do I have greater protection of my ownership of that Bitcoin interest than I did through some of the exchanges where I've heard some nasty stories?
So you definitely have the exposure, and obviously it's a regulated entity. You have the ETF structure, all the things that I think Wall Street really enjoys about the protections of those regulated funds. What you don't have, though, is direct exposure and ownership of Bitcoin itself. So one of the beauties of Bitcoin is similar to cash. You can go to the ATM, you can take the cash out of the machine. With Bitcoin, you can actually take self-custody. You can own it. You don't have to rely on any counterparty. You don't have to rely on an exchange. You don't have to rely on an ETF provider, etc. And so people have to ask themselves, what is my comfort level? Am I comfortable taking self-custody, or do I just want the financial exposure and I don't want to deal with that? And I think that that's where you're going to see a lot of people who've been sitting on the sidelines. Institutions, they can't take self-custody. They need the ETF to be able to actually allocate to the asset.
Hey, Anthony, CoinDesk, The Block, a lot of different places are reporting on this Matrix Port report from an analyst who says that the SEC is going to say, forget it, they're going to reject the ETF, the spot Bitcoin ETF proposal. I know you think that's a real long shot. What would happen if they actually did do that, if the SEC said no?
If they approve it, I think that there will be a lot of short-term volatility, and then we'll kind of get right back on track, whether it goes up or down after the approval. If they reject it, I think the same thing would happen. There would be a lot of kind of short-term volatility, and we'd get right back on track. The beauty is with...
I agree. That's exactly... He said it better than I could say it. I don't think there's going to be one or the other happen regardless. Like, I mean, sure, there will... You know what it reminds me of? What this will be in the short term? This will be FOMC meetings, okay? Probably big dumps, trading days, big dumps, big buy-ins, big dumps, big trading, big swings, and then right back to doing Bitcoin as Bitcoin does, right? I agree with that for sure. Long term, obviously super bullish, but everybody's not going to rush in at the same time.
Bitcoin, if we go back, we saw something like this. China had over 60% of all mining inside of their borders. They completely banned mining and kicked them all out. 50% of the hash rate went offline. By the end of that year, May of 2021 is when it happened. By the end of 2021, mining hash rate was back to an all-time high. And so this thing is just resilient, it's anti-fragile, and it continues to just do what it was designed to do.
But that's true, although the risk reward, the returns based per unit of volatility you cite, it really depends on the starting point, right? I mean, 2.5 years ago, you were here, you were saying $100,000 really soon, we're going to get there on Bitcoin. And it's been nothing through this inflationary spike and the Fed tightening cycle.
I would say, look, at $8,000, right? I thought I was going to 100. It only went to 70. I was off by a little bit, right? But in terms of, I think these directional moves, again, it goes back to, there is a lot of volatility here. And I do think that the volatility will
like, who's this guy? Got to throw shots because it didn't go to 100K. Like, jeez, whatever. That dude doesn't own any Bitcoin.
dampen as obviously ETFs and kind of more persistent sticky holders come into the market. But remember, we aren't just talking about an ETF either. We also have the halving that's coming up at the beginning of Q2, and we've got to return back to loose monetary policy. And so I think that we're going to see a pretty significant move in Bitcoin.
Perfect storm. That's what we've been saying. Perfect storm. It's not just the Bitcoin ETF. It's the perfect storm. It's the Bitcoin ETF. It's the Bitcoin halving. It's the economy getting better. It's just natural progression in a new asset class. It's all of these things lining up perfectly. Oh, it's, by the way, it's rampant inflation. People are getting more and more in the know about what's wrong with the current structure, what's wrong with printing a bunch of money, how it's not good, how it leads to things at the grocery store that go up 3x from what they were a year ago.
Bitcoin, just don't expect it to go from 45,000 to $1 million tomorrow.
Right. Gotcha. All right. Well, we'll manage our expectations accordingly. Thank you, Anthony. Appreciate it.
What a piece of work that guy is. All right. So I'm hearing in the chat that we're selling off. All right. So what's going on here? Just a little bit of a spike down, or what's happening here? 43,800. I mean, this is nothing. Are you guys okay? I mean, this is okay. I mean, nothing crazy here. The last couple hours we wicked down. I mean, to me, this is just volatility. I mean, look at this. We're bouncing right back up. I mean, you guys are watching the 1 minute maybe. I mean, we're bouncing right back up. I mean, you're going to have volatility. I mean, for sure. It's Bitcoin, right? Like, it's Bitcoin. You're going to have volatility. And listen, could we go back to 40K or what? I mean, could we go back to 38K? Yeah, it could happen. I'm not worried about it. I'm just going to become a bigger buyer, right? In fact, I would like to see it get there. I really would. Like selfishly, I guess, but you know, just to buy more. But this is what Cathie Wood had to say recently, 2 days ago. Cathie Wood reveals why she sold off her entire Bitcoin holdings. She didn't really sell off her entire Bitcoin holdings. I'll let her explain kind of what actually happened here.
We're as optimistic about Bitcoin as we ever have been, but there are a few regulatory and tax uncertainties, and we had been waiting for the discount between GBTC and NAV to narrow. It was as high as 50% at one point.
Speaking of GBTC, do you guys know GBTC actually yielded more returns than Bitcoin itself? Kind of interesting. GBTC is the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. Okay, they actually yielded more returns than Bitcoin in 2023, which is kind of nuts.
Point last year when there was great uncertainty around all of the turmoil in crypto generally, and now it's single digit. And there are now other products out there that we can use to gain exposure to Bitcoin in this moment. And it's just a moment of uncertainty between now, we think, and January 8th to 10th, somewhere in that range, perhaps. But we, out of an abundance of caution, didn't want to take any risk.
Over the last week of 2023, Cathie Wood and ARK Invest did something shocking. They sold off their entire Bitcoin position, which they were holding in the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. This was well over $100 million worth of exposure to Bitcoin. For ARK Invest and Cathie Wood, this seems insane, as they have been Bitcoin's biggest advocate with price targets in 2030 of $1.4 million. So why would they sell? And it all comes down to the coming Bitcoin ETFs. Bloomberg analyst Eric Balkenhaus believes Cathie Wood sold off their Bitcoin in preparation for the approval of a spot Bitcoin ETF. ARK Invest have a pending application, so it's believed they are going to use the money they had in the Grayscale Trust to seed their first investment in their own Bitcoin ETF. By doing this, they will hopefully attract more investors in.
So they sold their Bitcoin, but it's probably going to go right back into Bitcoin.
To their specific ETF. In Cathie Wood's latest interview, she breaks down why she ended up selling and also gives her outlook for Bitcoin in 2024. Make sure to stick around to the end of the video where she explains why ARK Invest is expecting to see deflation over the course of 2024, which will be extremely bullish for innovation and crypto in general.
What if there was a way to use AI software to make passive income for you? You've probably heard about Chat.
Also, guys, if you want to stay most up to date on the crypto and Bitcoin world, make sure to subscribe to my daily 5-minute crypto newsletter. It gives the latest expert predictions, any breaking news, and top on-chain analysis all in a nutshell. Click the first link in the description to join over 40,000 others in becoming a better crypto investor right now. Now, here's Cathie Wood on why she sold.
As I mentioned before, there are some tax and regulatory uncertainties still as part of this process. We don't know exactly who's going to be approved and whether they've met all the criteria that the SEC has put before us. We know we have, but we don't know if others, including GBTC, have. We just don't know. So again, out of an abundance of caution, caution. And GBT's discount, again, it was as much as 50% relative to NAV. So not only have we enjoyed this year the run in Bitcoin itself, but we've had the nice closing of that discount. So it's been, double good news for us. Well, we think the probabilities have gone up because the SEC has been highly engaged compared to what was happening before. Before, it was just denying approval. And we just kept putting our filing in again, try, dogged and determined. And so here we are. We think we're first in line, and that's why there is this January 10th deadline.
There's the January 10th deadline listed again. So, I mean, it'll be interesting. Will Cathie Wood and ARK Invest get theirs before BlackRock? Will it all be approved at the same time? Again, there's 12 people bidding or 12 people out that have applications. And they're all bidding, obviously, for volume. They're all bidding for eyeballs in some capacity. So it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting, right? One YouTube influencer says we must retrace to 33K before moving higher. Thoughts? I don't know. To sit here and say that I know exactly what's going to happen, I don't, right? Like I simply don't. I thought we would come back down to at least 38K before we'd burst through 45K. We already burst through 45K though. Short-lived, but we'll see. Right? We'll see. Zach Levine in the house. The actual Zach Levine? Are you saying I'm Zach Levine? I wish I could play basketball like Zach Levine. That'd be nice. But that's basically all I wanted to get to with Cathie Wood. Yeah, they sold their Bitcoin or whatever, but they're basically going to reallocate it into their own ETF, right? So that's what's going on there. So no reason to freak out for sure. But this was the tweet that kind of sparked the internet today. Heard from sources. Which one do I want? That one. Heard from sources extremely close to the matter that Bitcoin spot ETF is going to be approved by the SEC for multiple firms' applications. And then it started coming out today that it could be as soon as tomorrow. So that is kind of why we're reacting, why we're making this a big deal. Somebody asked it, why is this a big deal? It's a big deal because this is going to allow so many people to get into Bitcoin that haven't felt like it was safe enough to do so. And there are a lot of people out there in those shoes. A lot of people, the Wall Street people, traditional investors, people who are retired or close to retiring, or people who simply still have FTX and all of that on their mind, don't want to put their money anywhere except their, trusted broker. That is why it's a big deal, because it widens the playing field and it brings everybody in. Essentially, if you want to be in, you can now be in. That's why it's a big deal, right? So will this thing go to 100,000 as soon as, it gets approved? No, right? No. Last ditch effort to drive Bitcoin holders out by Wall Street before ETF approval. This is coming from Crypto George. Could this be the truth here? 9 minutes ago, is this their last ditch effort to drive Bitcoin holders out? Potentially. I think it's just more than anything market manipulation. I don't know if they are intending to sink the price necessarily. It's back to 43.6 though. Look, here's the 5 minute, 15 minute here. So, you're going to have this kind of volatility, but this is nothing, guys. This is nothing. Up here earlier at 44.7, $1,000 swing in Bitcoin. That's just another day. It's normal, right? We did get a wick down here. This is kind of crazy. We did get a wick down here all the way to 42.6, which is pretty nuts, right? But yeah, this is just normal volatility. Again, zoom out. When in doubt, zoom out. You zoom out and look at this. That's a nothing burger, right? Look at the daily chart. Don't look at the frickin' 5 minute. Don't look at the frickin' 1 minute. Don't look at the 20 minute, unless you're trading. But when in doubt, zoom out. Does that look like something we should be freaking out about right now? No. Right? Now, if we break down toward this blue line where I thought we'd get to, I thought we'd come down here to 38,000. Okay, then I'm going to be watching this closely to see if we hold it, because then if we don't, then we could be coming back down to our really strong resistance here, multi-year resistance of 31, 32,000. Okay, which we broke through, by the way, on that day that I told you guys about. There's a reason why this green candle broke that blue line that I created there. This green candle was BlackRock. I don't think they're going to allow Bitcoin to go lower than this. I don't think they're going to allow Bitcoin to go lower than this, okay? And that's why I have those lines in there. I'd be shocked if we see Bitcoin lower than this short term here, because this is the day Bitcoin was bought by BlackRock. Right here. Like literally right here. They were buying at 30K, guys. It's a fact, okay? CME gap at 38K. Yep, for sure. And I thought eventually we'd get down there. I thought it would happen late 2023. It never did. There's always a 10 to 30% drop and still goes higher. Yeah, 10 to 30% moves, downside, upside, happens all the time in Bitcoin. Yeah, BlackRock bought 900 mil. Yeah, like we know that they bought on the 23rd, and other assets went up like crazy that day too. Bullish hammer on the daily. Yeah, I mean, we got to zoom out a little bit, right? I mean, we can't overreact on, you know, the chart looks very different when you do this versus this. Like, yeah, it looks crazy, you know, but like when you come back to even like the 1 week, look at the 1 week, guys. Here's your 1 week chart. This is starting back in January. This is a year. Here's a year, okay? Let me mark out a year. Boom. Boom. This is 1 year. 161%. This is the weekly outlook. By the way, if you're trading off the weekly, look at this. Last time we got momentum up. Sorry, I'm going to plug my own software again. XT Algo. I'm plugging this thing because, guys, it works. I'm telling you. You guys can try it today risk-free. If you don't like it, I'll give all your money back 30 days later. No questions asked. Got a whole team that helps you set it up. When you guys do decide to get in and use this trading indicator, you could set up your customized alerts right on your phone, crypto, stocks, whatever you need to do. Alerts can be customized to suit your needs. That way you have it on the go. I'm telling you, guys are going to love it if you decide to check it out today. Seriously, like, what are you waiting for? It's $37 right now with the discount code in the description. A little bit over $1 a day to get started. If you don't like it, it's a full refund. If you make one successful trade off using this, you set alerts to 10 cryptos, make one successful trade a month, it's well worth it. So it's something I started about 5 months ago now. I can't tell you enough how much it's been helpful to me and the 400 people I've got signed up with me right now. So, but here you go. I mean, looking at the weekly, since our flash, momentum up 92%. You know, so yeah, you missed a little bit of gains from 17 to 23K, but who cares? 23K gave you the signal like, hey, momentum up, long term here on the weekly, get ready. And it was a 90% move to the upside. So again, when in doubt, zoom out. These are the two lines I'm looking for in terms of retracements. All right. So I'm looking at 38,000 and I'm looking at roughly 32. Breaking through 32 was a huge milestone for us. You saw what happened after we did. I mean, just bang. But really, I mean, you zoom out here. This is the weekly, guys. Zoom out. We've been consolidating for a month. Okay? We've been consolidating for a month. So yeah, we're going to get a breakout or a breakdown soon. We are going to get a breakout or a breakdown soon. We don't stay flat forever with Bitcoin. And yeah, when you zoom into the 1 minute or whatever, you're like, oh my gosh, what the hell's happening? It's not that big of a deal. Zoom back out to the 1 week and you'll see like what's really happening. By the way, here's your 2021 top. I mean, again, the chart looks very different when you zoom out. Here's Bitcoin's chart when you zoom out. This is the entire Bitcoin chart dating back to 2011, guys. Okay, here's 2021 bull run top 69,000. Here's where we are right now. Like, looks really solid. Nice steady recovery since this time last year. Interesting, SD. That's an interesting idea. Investing into Robinhood stock, interesting. ETF may finish crypto. Why do you think? I mean, it's definitely going to change it, but I don't think it's going to finish it. I mean, this should be bullish if you already own Bitcoin. Tectum, fastest blockchain in the crypto space. Interesting. Excuse me. Will ETF help SHIB? I think eventually, yes. The ETF, along with just Ethereum ETF too. I think really the big one, Kyron, for SHIB and anything related to Ethereum, like Shiba Inu is, I think it's more about Ethereum. It's more about when does the Ethereum ETF get approved, right? After Bitcoin. And that's when we really start to see altcoins and an altcoin surge as a whole happen. SD saying it's going to drive Robinhood stock through the roof. Where is Robinhood stock? I'm interested now. Let's see. Stock. It's up a little bit today. It's down. It's up 14% last month. Year to date. Oh, year to date it's down. There's your max. Okay. Might not be a terrible play here. It's interesting. It's been down for a while. It's been coming down hard since the top there in August. Kathy Wood just bought nearly 17 million worth of Roku. Sells Coinbase and Robinhood stock. Robinhood launches crypto trading service in the EU. That happened back in December. It could be an interesting play, SD. What's mint layer, Mr. Bud? I don't know. Good stream, Zach. Peace out. Smash the like. See you, Crypto Chevy. Hovers around 12, yeah. Thinking $40. I could see that. I could definitely see a surge. Yeah, I agree. BTC miner stocks are some really good plays. Marathon is the one I was thinking of. Marathon Mara. I've held that one before. I've traded that one before, Mara. So there's a few for you. BITF, Bitfarms, Marathon, Bit Digital, Clean Spark, and Iris. Interesting. I like it. I like it. We're helping each other make money, helping each other grow a little bit here on the channel. Hey guys, I'm going to get up on out of here. This has been fun. We'll be checking out the news, of course. We'll be watching everything closely. I appreciate you guys, as always, for stopping back by the channel. If it's your first time in, make sure you guys subscribe. Don't leave the stream without subscribing and hitting that like button for me. Definitely appreciate it. Enjoy your evening. Fun times ahead. Great time to be in crypto. Love you guys. Enjoy your night or your day, wherever you are. We'll see you.